For 8 years, they told us that Barack Obama was the greatest thing that ever happened to this country, that he was the smartest man in the room, and that the guy was going to heal us and bring us all together. So explain something to me. Why is this guy suddenly desperate to disappear? Obama goes on a podcast this week and says that Michelle would rather have him have a little quieter life for now. A quieter life. Folks, you don't get to go looking for these shadows in your quieter life when you've got nothing to hide. The truth is, you go looking for these shadows when you know what's coming. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. Watch this.
Coach Barry called a meeting, told the team he's not suiting up.
I think Michelle very much would prefer a quieter life for us. And on the other hand, there have been some folks who would like to see me out every day, right, banging the drum. What I've tried to do is to move from player to coach.
Michelle wants him off the court and on the couch. And the missus always gets her way. Problem is, Barry built this team, and they're 0 for 47.
We've got a set of institutions that have fallen victim to the siren song of everything's about money and everything's about attention and everything's about fame and everything's about getting over. But meanwhile, there are just a lot of people out here who are just doing the right thing and raising their families and taking care of people.
You know who Barack booked to open his library? The boss, Springsteen, Christina Aguilera, U2, John Legend, Stevie Wonder. The man's hosting a Chicago Palooza for himself and his billion-dollar library. And you're lecturing us about seeking fame, fortune, and attention?
Yeah. That's how he rolls.
The podcast, the books, Netflix, the 4 homes. This guy was just campaigning in New Jersey. Can't get enough of himself. He thinks the country needs him, but he really just needs to get out of his own house. Michelle's like, can we have hope and change without my husband?
Could that movement that you started then, could it happen now, Mrs. Obama, do you think?
It can always happen. You know, people just have to be fed up enough. They have to want more.
Turns out
we're fed enough.
Fed up. And also very much under federal investigation. Knee pads says Trump's kneecapping his presidential run by investigating his wife.
Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president, because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit.
The only problem? The DOJ says the tip came from whistleblowers on the ground in California, not from Trump or Washington. One of the probes even started under Biden and Kamala, his oldest enemy and 2028 rival. California Kamala was VP, former AG out there, former prosecutor. She's still got Sacramento wired. Are her fingerprints on this?
Folks, just look at this. I mean, this party is a disaster. And really what's going on, if you want to know the truth, is that there's been over 100 subpoenas, grand jury subpoenas out of the Southern District of Florida by Judge Eileen Cannon. She's overseeing this grand jury where Biden and Obama officials have all been subpoenaed. There's something going on. And now look at this party where you see Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris are the best that they can come up with. So I think he's right. You do need to go away, Barack, because this whole thing that you tried to build is falling apart with a bunch of misfit clowns.
Now, we don't know, but we might have a hunch. Here's what we do know. Newsom's wife runs 2 charities. Her husband, Gavin, got big companies to donate to him. It's a way to get in good with the governor. His wife takes a salary, spreads the money around. Now prosecutors are looking at her taxes. They're also sniffing around Newsom's former chief of staff, who stole money from Javier Becerra's campaign account. You know, the guy running against Hilton. The Newsom's bank records have been subpoenaed. Agents have been knocking on doors. His wife, Jennifer, was interviewed by the feds. Newsom's also been fined for campaign finance violations. He just had to pay 30 G's for not reporting millions in charitable donations on time. It's not his first fine either. Newsom's panicking. We just found out he's been emailing out talking points to Democrats to get his little buddies to blame Trump. He says he's being targeted because he's number one in the polls, and now he's raising money off the investigation. Michelle Obama got Barack in a lot of trouble when he ran for president in 2008. Remember? She ran her little mouth too much. They had to sideline her, put her in witness protection until he won. Newsom's wife might need to take a little vacation. Or maybe she's like Hillary. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Either way, Gavin and Barack have a lot of problems.
They do have a lot of problems. And as I said earlier, there's over 100 subpoenas to Biden and Obama officials as we stand. Then we look at Gavin Newsom. He's under federal investigation. Then we look at Tim Walz. He's under federal investigation. So again, this is the Democrat Party corruption machine. And my question is, when has America had enough? Real quick. If you believe in independent journalism that answers to nobody other than you, then hit the join button down below. A couple bucks a month keeps us in the fight. Now let's get back to it. So here's my honest opinion, and I'm not going to really dress it up. I think Barack Obama is trying to get small. He's hoping that if he slips out of the spotlight, if he stays quiet long enough, this whole thing just passes by him and he gets spared. Well, screw that. In my view, this is a man that did more damage to this country than any president in my lifetime. The division, the race baiting, the way he set Americans against each other, and he called it progress. The fact is that we're still digging out of this hole that Barack Obama put us in. And now he wants to go sit on the beach and play elder statesman while his party collapses under scandal after scandal. No way. So look at this contrast, because America's already seeing it. You've got Obama up in the booth coaching from the sidelines, while the team that he's coaching falls apart underneath him. And then you have Donald J. Trump down on the field, and he's actually delivering results. He's securing the border. He's going after fraud. And Trump is exposing the rot that these people spent years trying to bury. That's the difference, and the American people are not stupid. We can see who's working for us and who's running them into the ground. And here's the question that I want answered. How does a guy who spent his whole life in government end up with the kind of fortune that he has? He has mansions in Hawaii, compounds in Massachusetts, a whole fortress in Washington, D.C. The fact is, the money just piled up on top of each other. And in my opinion, that deserves a real investigation from top to bottom, every single dollar. Because public service is not supposed to make you that kind of rich. And even if half of what people suspect turns out to be true, then we are not talking about a quiet retirement for Barack Obama. What we're talking about is a man who, in my honest opinion, sold out this country and the people who trusted him. I think he should be investigated for all of it. The corruption, the abuse of power, everything. And if the evidence is there, then nobody, not even a former president, not anybody, should be above answering for it. After all, that's the whole America First idea when you boil it down. One set of rules for everybody. Not one set for the well-connected and another set for the rest of us. So when Obama says he wants things quiet, I don't hear some tired old president. I hear a man who had his turn, who did his damage, and is praying that nobody comes asking questions now that the lights are finally turned on. He doesn't get to just walk away. Not after what he did. So tell me down in the comments, am I being too tough on Barack and Michelle? Or is it long past time that this country took a hard look at the Obama years? Give it to me straight. I read every single comment. And if you're with me on this, subscribe and send this video to anybody that needs to hear it. We'll see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Chris Locke Show for the latest America First news, conservative commentary, and the stories that mainstream media refuses to cover. These two videos right up here, they're going to be next. Pick your favorite. I'll see you over there.